Welcome back to Data to Decisions. In the previous few videos, we've been looking at how do we make effective and dynamic column charts, and we'll continue that in this video. A column chart is very effective to compare the measure across different categories, and also it is helpful to know the order of the categories based on a measure. So, for example, which is the topmost, you know, uh, department in terms of number of employees, or the least number of employees. So you can, in the previous videos, we've seen how we can sort them based on the measure ascending or descending. So that is a very effective technique to show an ordered list of categories, right? But there's also some other scenarios where we just want to highlight the top and the bottom category, highlight the min and the max values in your column chart. That's what we're going to see in this video, how we can create it dynamically using formulas. On screen, you see that we have the number of employees by department, but I've highlighted dynamically the HR department with the red because it has the least number of employees, and then the IT department with green because it has the most number of employees. So this is being done dynamically using formulas. So we will see in this video how we can do that. Let's get started. So here we go. We have raw data, which is on the right side of this new worksheet. And I'm going to select all the values in our raw data and then press Control T for converting it into a table and name the table. I'm going to name it as data. And then it's time to start writing some formulas. So the first thing I will do is let's just get the list of departments, right? We have learned in a previous video, we can use unique function to get the distinct list of department names. There we go, we have it. And sort in front of the unique function. And I'm just going to wrap it up with a sort, which automatically gives me alphabetical order. This is great. Now let's do a count of employees. This is also something that we have done in a recent video. We'll do COUNTIF, data, department, and I'm going to use the department list or the values here. And so I am going to put hash at the end, close parenthesis, and now we get the count of employees in each department. So this is straightforward. We've done it before. It's not a problem. Now, before we start doing the minimum and the maximum part, let's just do the chart. So I'm going to select these values and let's do insert a column chart, and let's just change it to a template that I have. This only changes the appearance, nothing else changes. So let's keep it here. This is great. So now what we're going to do is make this dynamic so that the chart here, yes, it is referencing to this formula-driven cells there, but still will not change automatically when the departments expand in the future. When you have more departments in your raw data, we still want your chart to be automatically reflecting that change. So in order to do so, we have a couple of quick steps. So I'm going to click on cell C7. And then I'm going to give a name to it. So I'm going to call it DBTS and then put a hash here. That means this dynamic array, an array which automatically will expand and contract based on the data, I'm going to give it a name DBTS. Similarly, the column of employee counts, I'm going to give a name to it, and this is going to be counts. And hash at the end is very important, and then say, okay. So now we have that. Let's go and change our chart. Right click on the chart, select data, go to the series, and then remove everything after the exclamation mark. And then what did we name it? So I think we named it counts. So I'm going to call it counts. And then the x-axis, we named it as DEBTS. So now it is dynamic. If you have more departments or fewer departments, the chart will automatically work. This is great. Now, the only part which is not yet done is highlighting the minimum and the maximum values on the chart. So let's do that quickly. First, we need to know what is the minimum value itself. So I'm going to do simple min, and I'm going to select this count cell D7, put a hash so that it's dynamic, close it. So now you have minimum. Similarly, we do the max. Very simple, straightforward. Select D7, put a hash, close. So now these are dynamic minimum and maximum values that will be calculated for us. Now, the next part is we need to create a series so that we can plot on the chart. So in order to do so, we will need a maximum series and a minimum series. And so we will create the max first. If the employee count equals the maximum value, right? And then lock this cell because this is one cell that we want to keep the reference to. If D7, let's put a hash in front. If D7 hash equals the maximum value in D5, then give me the, D5, $D5, and then otherwise give me NA, okay? So I'll tell you what this is doing. So whenever the count of employees is matching the maximum value, you will get the maximum value, but otherwise it will put NA. So we will do the same thing. I'm going to copy the formula, put it in the minimum column. This time, instead of pointing to D5, I will point it to C5 because that is the minimum value. Same thing. There you go. Enter. Now, HR department will be 13. All other departments will be NA. So we have everything. Now, for the final piece is to connect this to the chart. So just like how we had to name the department names before we can put it on the chart, we have to also give a name. So max, go here to cell E7, define a name, call it maximum, and then here put a hash. Same thing, click on the minimum cell F7, define the name, and I'm going to call it minimum, and then hash. Okay. Now we have to connect that to the chart. So select data, right click, select data, add a new series called max in the series values. If I select this, it will automatically, put in the cell reference. But what we want is to enter maximum because that's the name we gave to that dynamic array. And then hit OK. In the category X, we will still have basically the DEPTS departments. Then we'll do one more series, and this series will be the minimum series, right? So min, and then we're going to point to this, but then remove the everything after exclamation and call it minimum. Okay, so now we have done all the connections. Let's do also for the department, for the x-axis. Okay, so now we have all the series done. It still does not look the way we want. So what do we need to do? So for now there are three series of values here. So I'm going to click on the one of the series and say format data series. And this will open up the pane on the right side where I'm going to make the series overlap as 100%. Okay. So this basically moves everything over and makes it that. So once again, if we do it without, then it will look like this. And in this case, let's say, for example, I do not want this label to appear. I can remove the label also. And then I can go back into the max series and then make it 100%. Okay. And then I can go to the min series and then that's also 100%. So everything is lined up, but what we don't have is the colors. So the HR, let's say, for example, the minimum series, go to the fill and then change the color of this to, because it's a lower number, I'm going with the red. And then let's select the maximum series and then give a different color in the fill to maybe something green. So there we go. I think this series still has some labels. So click on that, right click, format data labels. I don't want to see those labels. I only want to see the labels in the employees series. I don't need to see the labels here. I only want that for coloring. So which I've done. The data changes also if HR becomes something else, and if HR employees increase and then accounting reduces to be the minimum, no problem. The chart will automatically assign the colors accordingly. So that's how we can do it. So let me recap quickly the steps. We first came up with the department list and the employee counts straightforward. Then we calculated the minimum and the maximum count of employees by department. Then we created the series of columns. The max column, where if it matches the maximum value, then give me the number. Otherwise, give NA. Same thing with the minimum. Once we have done this, we just have to give names to these things and then connect them to the chart. And finally, an important step you have to do is to come into the maximum series and make sure the series overlap is 100% so that those columns now are completely overlapping. And then what we can do is go into the minimum. This is maximum series. So you can, in the maximum series, you can go and change the fill color. Similarly, you can go to the minimum and then change the fill color. That gives the color, different color for the two new series. That's it. So this should work in order for you to come up with the column chart, which dynamically gives you highlights on the maximum and the minimum value in your data. If you have any suggestions for a more efficient method, please let me know. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section below. I'll be happy to address them. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon in another video.